Hello. This is a quick demonstration of what the setup looks like for SFC models, Python package on Windows. It's an older version of Windows. Depending on the operating system, the exact steps vary, but you're going to have to look at tutorials that are available on the internet aimed for your operating system. Right now I'm in a temporary directory, and there's a hello py. This is a Python file. It's a script. We can click it and it pops up. You can't see it because it just exits quickly. But if you, first thing you do is you need to install Python, and this is Python 3.4 that I have installed. What I do is I can right click on the file, edit with idle. This brings up the base Python editor. It's easy to use, has very minimal features, but it'll come with the base Python package. When you install it, you should get idle. You certainly get it with Windows. And this says print hello world. This is the classic hello world program. And then you just go run module. This brings up a Python shell, and it prints hello world. So this is the it's a Python shell. This executes commands. So you can do things like x equals 2, print x times 5, and so on and so forth. So you can work on this like other scripting languages have the ability to program on the command line, but that's obviously it's easy to do quick numerical calculations, quick tests, but normally you want to be working with a Python file. But right now we want to work with SFC models, and if you see my example code, one of the first things it'll do, it'll have an import statement. It will look something like this. There's a few ways of doing it, but the key thing is the word import appears, and it's a keyword. That's why it's a different color. Imports SFC models, and it worked for some reason. Oh, this is Python 2.7. If this works, that means it's installed, and we didn't want Python 2.7, so we're going to close that. So that tells you that's installed, but of course if you're brand new, you won't have it installed. Okay, you can tell this is live. We go Python 3.4, so it'll look the same, but this is a different version of Python. It's a version 3 Python. And recent files. Okay, we can do that while it's the same thing. We can run it. So it looks pretty much the same, although the Python language is different. What you can do now is, now we do the import statement in Python 3.4. No modules. So if you attempted to run my example code on a base Python package, you will get this error. You say there's no module named SFC models. You need to install it. If you're working with base Python installation, what you do is you do this on the command line, because there is a pip installer, and you could search for pip install on the web, and it has a you'll find documentation that's aimed at your operating system. But what we see here is I've created a command window in MS-DOS, and I've moved to where it's installed. So Python 3.34, Python 3.4 scripts. There's a scripts directory that's below where the Python is, and you have, these are built-in scripts. And then we just do this. We do pip install sfc underscore models. And this is going to the Python package repository, and it's grabbing it. It's grabbing version 1.01, and then it will do it and says, "Oh, I'm out of date," but it ran. What we're going to see here is this thing's initialized, and we would have to rebuild. We're going to have to rerun because it's initialized. It doesn't see the it won't see the new module. So we'll just do another run. And so it's now restarted. Now if we go import SFC models, it works. There's no error. Then you're going to say, well, what are you going to do with this thing? Not much. You're going to need example code. So there's this little script from sfc models.objects import star. This is a command. It brings in objects, functions, and so forth from the SFC model. So now they're in the loaded into memory, and you can access them. And then we can do install examples. And the thing, if you read my older documentation, I forgot the parentheses. Without the parentheses, it's just this, and that's not very helpful. That's just telling us, yeah, that's a function. What we need to do is put the thing at parentheses, say call the function, and it pops up a little window. This command will install to directory you specify, and it does a little window, and we choose where do we want this to go. Where is it? Where does it want to go? Yeah, temp test. I'm going into temp test. That's fine. So that's where we were running from. We go yes, and it's copied in files. See, now remember we had the hello. It's populated these this directory with scripts, and it's created a subdirectory called output. You could go to the SFC models website on GitHub. You could download. You could download the files directly and put them into a directory. But the install examples copies in there for you. Now we're in a position to run various programs, and so now we can just open, go to the correct directory, C temp test, and we'll go Simex1. And this is a seems to have extra line breaks. Anyways, this will run build a model. It's model Simex from Godley and Lavoie, and it's running. And did it do anything? Yes, there it is. To see this graph here is generated by the matplotlib package. This graph will not show up if you haven't installed matplotlib, and that installation takes time and may fail for you. I had to do some web searching to get it to install cleanly. It's a bit easier to do from within the PyCharm development environment, which I'll discuss at the end. But otherwise, that's why this took a while for it to run. Basically, was setting up this chart. So this is the model Simex from Godley and Lavoie. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's generated and ran. And oh, there's another chart here, household income, and in fact, a few of these charts, So it ran through, developed some plots. And the other thing that you'll see here is it's generated text files in the output directory. I put the way my examples are set up. They dump the files into here. This is a log file, so it's telling you everything it's doing, useful for debugging. Here's all the equations, and then this are the time series, which you can open in a spreadsheet program. It's a tab delimited file. So this is what you would play with if you don't want to work in Python with the output. So that's it. That's installed, and that's how you get the examples. And once again, you could download them, but this is the easy way to get everything that's installed with the package. You know, these like these ones here were coming from my book on how to use how to use the Python package. The alternative installation, which is easier, is that you use PyCharm. PyCharm is a development environment. I've set it up and I've created a new project. And once again, this was, I created a project. You go new project, and you set it up here. But I mean, I already have one. I've got an empty one. Cancel. So we have the same thing. If you want to do an installation, you would go Settings, Project Interpreter, and then here's all the packages, and SFC Models is already in there, but you could go here and you would add it, and you could do matplotlib as well. It should be in here. So yeah, see matplotlib. So this is it. This is the easy way of doing an installation, but it requires you to install PyCharm. This version of PyCharm is free, so that's the easy way to do it. Just do Settings plus, and it'll do the setup for you. But once again, we don't have the files. So you go down here, there's a Python console. Like here's Windows. So you can do here Python console. And this brings up a Python console, and we can just test, import SFC models, and that worked. So we're installed. So we just do the same thing from SFC models dot objects, import star, hopefully, yeah, okay, and then once again install examples, and we do it. It's under, call this test 2. And so it's going right into there. And it's taking a minute. Don't know why. Won't know why that's taking so long. Okay, whatever. That's, for some reason there's a little delay. Anyways, all these, I guess it was probably taking a while to do. So now we see it's popped into this directory and they all appear. And if we want to run any of them, well, we can just open it and hello. This is a, and then we just right click it and we do run. And yeah, there's a, it does whatever the example does. So that's the other way. Generally speaking, PyCharm is going to be easiest to work with from a programming point of view, but there's more setup. There's a lot of commands here, and so there's a lot more features than a the base idle interface. But whichever you want to use. But that's it's your choice what you want to work with. The only downside with PyCharm is that it's more resource intensive. It might be exceedingly sluggish on an underpowered computer. I have a laptop that I use for writing, and since I'm hauling it around on my bike and so forth, it's not an expensive laptop, and it really has a hard time running PyCharm. So I have to do my development in idle on that machine. But anyway, so that's that. This just gets you set up, and then you can look how you actually start using the packages would be the discussion of other videos.